today. One of my students who joined recently the Wellness Club, uh, she had long COVID and she still has it. So she was kind of reporting market improvement ever since she joined Wellness Club 1 week ago. So I thought I will talk about some of the things that we do uh, that is really helping her. Those things are very simple things, non-invasive, but understanding how we react with the nervous system, how we uh, don't really nourish at the cellular level. All those issues are addressed along with stress and burnout. You all know that I do work with people who are burned out or who are stressful. Let it be physicians, let it be uh, nurses or pharmacists or any of the healthcare workers, let it be IT executives or company leaders. So I have these three programs. I have been talking about this for a long time. But the form of yoga that I have been doing with um, basically very leisurely, nice, relaxed stretches combined with deep breathing and keeping the mind here and now, presence, right? So that kind of thing really helps them. And some of the asanas open up your chest better, and also they help you to function better in terms of digestion, excretion, circulation, breathing. All those internal processes are much better. And also uh, understanding how to keep our mind calm unless we are working with it. That kind of thing helps a lot for people. All in all, this all led to her feeling much better with so many complaints that she has. So we thought we'll talk about long COVID and really talk about these programs that are helping long COVID patients, because this has been a very pestilence problem for us in the field, because anybody after 3 months of diagnosing long COVID or after COVID, they don't recover from it after they are tested negative finally, at least for 3 months having the symptoms. And the symptoms can be very varied, and people are really suffering with that. It's going to be a big problem for us down the line. So we were talking about that, and then also when I saw this relaxation, stress reduction uh, ways, I kind of teach them in my wellness club, helping them. So we thought we will do a separate class for them. And then we will advertise as of starting today about the general wellness measures that I usually teach people about. Okay? That's how we started. Hi, Alka, how are you? So I thought I will mention some of these things, and also where we stand with the long COVID, and where it is going to be a nasty problem with a lot more people are getting reinfected, a lot more cases are happening in the news. I heard Dr. Fauci also coming and talking about uh, the same mitigant measures that we used to use, and lately they're talking some controversial things on that. So all those things, I thought my friends could use the information. If they don't know about it, I want to tell them. But if they know about it and doing the right things, maybe we could talk to them about that too. So that's idea why I brought in. But people can ask me about stressful life that they lead and what are the measures they would like to have and all that. Okay? So this long COVID is in the people who have some kind of underlying thing, or they may not have any. They were healthy before, and then after they got the COVID and they suffered the COVID bout, they somehow recovered from it, but then they continue to have symptoms. People who are athletic, who are running and all that, they were not able to get up the 4 or 5 steps to their house, and that was the live cases we have seen a lot of them, right? And then people were very weak or developed headaches. Some developed every organ failure, each one. Some may have renal failure, some may have cardiac failure, some may have cardiac arrhythmias, some may have stroke, some may have one lady went into coma. I know she does a room here on the clubhouse, and then I usually go there to help the patients with my kind of strategy, my kind of wellness measures and all that. We have to treat the COVID as they present to us. That's okay. But then after release, they were going home, and then there was not much help from their own doctor, and that's when they wanted to do some holistic measures. Anybody can be helped by doing some exercise and breathing and good nutrition and good sleep and calming the mind. These are the general things that I talk about, but in much more detail according to the patient's underlying condition and what are the conditions that they have before they become COVID patient. If they have an underlying condition like a diabetes, COPD, heart failure, or any number of things, thyroid problems and all that, that becomes much more problem for these people to get better. Okay, and that's why this holistic practices I practice kind of keep me healthy for the long time, and also able to really resist infections from outside. Okay, as I said many number of times, I did not use any antibiotics or maybe for the last 10 years. But I get exposed to them, right? When you see the patients, they'll be coughing on you. They'll be so in our clinic, what we do is an active measure for ventilation. There are fans and equipment within each exam room where air is constantly pumped out. So ventilation is active. So that way, if the patient is waiting there for 10 minutes and coughing away, he has less chance of accumulating those bugs in that room. And also, we do even in the winter, if it is very cold also, we open both sides of the clinic with all the doors and windows and put the exhaust fans in the bathrooms. We have 2 bathrooms in the clinic, right? And it's only 1 floor. So all the air is really pumped out and we get the fresh air. We do at least twice a day during the winter months when it is the highest infection happens, right? So that was our standard process we were doing. So that kind of things I teach people because in Midwest especially, these houses are built for winter. So all the windows and doors are firmly closed, and then nothing comes in. So unless you actually open them, and then you have measures and you do some exhaust fans, you cannot really change the air that much. So that's one thing I always advise people: ventilate. Always spend time where there is a lot of ventilation. So going into areas where airports, rail stations, or very crowded restaurants or malls, and in the malls of food courts, all those areas I caution them not to go, or even if you go, wear a mask and all that. So there is controversy about masks and all that, but I kind of advise actively. I use it. I make other people use it too. So those kind of really spending as little time as possible indoors is very very wise, I think, in this atmosphere. Now that many cases are happening in New York and other places, we don't have that many in the Midwest yet. But they may come back because of the travel. People travel from one area to other area very easily these days. So it is conceivable that we'll have more cases reported here in Midwest also. That's why I advise my family, my friends, and my patients, and whoever really comes to my talks, wear the mask and then avoid getting exposed to the virus. Hi, Christine. I'm just talking about the long COVID. As I promised. So this is a public service we want to do. We want to share whatever I know about things, but also follow what's happening in the world of COVID as a interested scientist, interested physician, and also I just want to help my patients and my family and everybody, right? So many people reach me from India also, because they have doubts about these questions. Then I'm happy to answer them too. Lately, not that much, because India is not suffering that much with this, I believe. But as the pandemic kind of reoccurs again, then that's a thing. But then, even if it doesn't happen, the people who have the long COVID, they were not snapping into complete health. They were not snapping into their full whole self, and they are having limitations in terms of not able to breathe, weakness, or they're not able to focus, they have headaches, varied symptoms. It's not like a, say, one theory is like it forms small thromboemboli, that is small clots. So those clots go and occlude different organs that can lead to kidney failure, that can lead to heart failure, or a stroke in the brain, or seizures, a variety of things people have had. Some people just fatigued and they're not able to have that pep and all that. So I thought it's a good thing for them to mention what kind of practices I am doing that help me. I never had COVID, but then the people who have COVID also, we help them in the hospital. But a lot of my wellness club services are also geared to improve your overall wellness, and thereby you can also help to really fight the long COVID in a better way. Basically, my aim is to provide better quality of life for people who are suffering from long COVID. Some of the things I'm doing is doing that. So I thought I would talk about them. First of all, being in the present. That means don't let your mind influence the disease. That's a psychosomatic, right? We talk all about. So if you think about the problem all the time without thinking about the solutions, then that they could become a problem, right? So instead of that, find out how can I revive myself, how can I improve my wellness and all that. Like everything that we talk about. And then see what is happening today, what's happening now. And then you'll be much more reinforced from within, rather than going into memories or going to the future with anxiety or fear, right? So don't do that. Stay each day, and then try to spend each day fully. That's one thing. The other thing is have a vital nutrition. What does it mean? That means food that is rich in nutrients, vitamins, minerals, protein, fiber, and all the nutrients that you are supposed to eat. It is good for you. You have to. Of course, there are special diets we'll do. But one diet I kind of tell everybody is a Mediterranean diet, which is very balanced, very nice that way. And also you improve your breathing. Obviously, deep breathing, I talk about it all the time. So cultivate as much as you can. Being in the present, deep breathing, eating good, and also relaxing and all that make you sleep better. So if you do these things, you sleep better. Also, you can do some things before sleep, after sleep, which I talked about lots of times. And then uh, try to do kind of a meditation every day, so that you won't spend time all the time thinking. You can think and you are working, but after the work, calm down and quiet down, cultivate this silence within you for a few minutes or few hours. Okay, and that is really good to give you a chance to revive yourself better. Okay, so maybe supplements, some people may need it, you take them. And also if you have some underlying conditions, whatever your doctor is telling you, you got to continue them. And monitor yourself. So maybe devices are there that can monitor your vitals, monitor your hydration, monitor your protein calorie balance, fat accumulation. All those things we can monitor these days. So you just have to visit your doctor and ask them, tell me how my interior is, how my chemistry is, how my um, hormones are, anything we can check, right? But then it depends upon your insurance coverage and how much you really need. Suppose you have symptoms related to thyroid, we don't mind checking the thyroid hormone, right? But if you are on a thyroid hormone, we check them every year. Depending on the patient, some people may require every 3 months just to adjust their thyroid. So many things are there. But basically, go and establish a relationship with your physician where you can monitor your health status, your deficiency status, whatever it is. Okay, so that is also an advice I'm giving you. You should follow. Okay, then instead of leaving it alone and responding to it when you develop some symptoms, why don't you take a proactive stand and then get your everything established with your doctor, and that way even if it costs some money, we advise the executives or people it's much cheaper to check and fix it now rather than go and have a surgery done later on. Okay, that kind of thing, especially in the COVID times, people are having a lot of more stresses, right? They are not able to hold their job, or they are not able to go and work because they don't have the same physical strength and stamina, or they are lost some conveniences, some things that they used to do. Any number of things. Like child care was not there. The parents had to stay home and then take care of their children. So they were having extra stress that way. So any number of things, right? uh, they all kind of acting on the stress level of the COVID patients also. On top of it, the long COVID can behave very erratically. That means it is not one particular course for one particular patient. It varies so much. And that's why it's a concern as a big problem down the line for the doctors and the health system as a whole. Okay. So uh, develop your wellness, be proactive about it, and develop your resilience inside so that you can get rid of this long COVID. Okay, that's what I was saying. So I am going to talk about this on and off from now onwards, and then I will welcome people to make use of the suggestions I'm making. If you want, you can come and join my wellness club also. Otherwise, you at least do these proactive wellness tips I'm talking about. Okay. So, any questions, any comments? If you want, you can come up and then talk about it. So, I see Sanya in the wisdom app. Sanya, you want to come and talk about this? You're welcome. So, Christine wants to come up. Hi, Christine.
Hi, Dr. Rao.
I was talking about you. I told them opening of the talk that uh, I hope you don't mind because you reported improvement, and that's the inspiration. You remember I promised I will talk about it, so I thought today I will talk about it. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've been noticing a lot of improvements. I have a weird symptom that happens though. Like sometimes like I can be like going.
Yeah.
And then sometimes like on a day that I have off, like when I rest.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get like this thing where my neck gets like really tight. And then it like doesn't release until like I sleep many hours. And I rested a lot today. Like I rested until almost 12 this afternoon. I went back to sleep. But I woke up and like the left side of my neck was still like pinched, like in the where it connects to the back of my head.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but like sometimes it doesn't stop until I wake up and like my neck cracks. I don't know if that makes any sense, but sometimes that happens to me. I'm not really sure why, but I was thinking maybe because I was like working like a lot of days in a row, that maybe it like caught up with me, and then when I rested, my body just like got overtired or something.
It could be one of two or three things, Kristen. One is you might have pulled something when you are carrying those weight that you showed me, that's possible. And then usually we don't notice it when it happened. We are in the rush of things and the adrenaline flowing. We kind of, and later on, we can, even the sports also that happens, right? That's one thing. The other thing is positional. That means how you are sleeping in one particular way, and then you might have strained that way. That's a very common thing. A lot of people do that. And also you may have certain kind of myalgia there. So what we advise people is just try to relax them with the neck exercise I showed you, and also put some heating pad. That heating pad can be relieving that. And rest and massage and all these things, non-invasive things I talk about. But if they are not helping, sometimes if the tightness is so bad, we use a mild muscle relaxant. You know, that also eases. If it is too much, if like they can't sleep, they can't keep the neck, they can't look over that side. That's kind of severity. If that is there, then we use the muscle relaxant. Otherwise, allowing the heat to work, massage to work, that kind of things will help. Try them first. And also maybe you are sleeping certain way. You see, there are some pillows, right, that are designed for this kind of pain and all that. So where the cervical curve is kind of approximated with the pillow. So that's I think they are available on the Amazon too. That may be something you want to look into. That's a good one to invest.
Okay, because sometimes like I I think I agree with you. Like I think that my muscles do get tight like when I lift the heavy stuff.
Yeah.
But for a really long time, but it's way less now than it was before. But sorry about that. For a very long time, I would get the can you give her a sorry. For a very long time, what happened was I would get like the tightness in my neck, and
yeah,
my doctor gave me cyclobenzaprine.
Yeah,
they would give me that with like the sumatriptan, like for migraines. But I feel like I rested a lot extra today, but still, it kind of like it's less tight than it was earlier. But I still feel it a little bit.
Use some local heat pad or K pad like that. That may help you a little bit more.
Okay, I will.
Yeah, just like a water bottle that we use in the hospital. We give it so they can rest on the warmness of that. Not too hot, but the warmness of it. That kind of releases the muscles a little bit. Probably, and you use the neck exercise I told you about, the front and back and all that. Be very careful, okay? Don't do overdo. Just do slowly and relaxedly with the deep breathing. And then maybe instead of doing 5 or 6 turns, just do 2 or 3 turns, something like that.
Okay, yes. I noticed either yesterday or last night when I did it, I noticed that my neck was actually like the muscles were tight.
Yeah.
Going from like my neck down towards like the middle of the top of my back.
Yeah.
I felt it like pulling when I would go and pull my chin down to my chest.
Yeah, I don't think this is related to your long COVID as much as the type of work you are doing, and sometimes heavy things lifting up can do that too. But tell us about the long COVID. What were the symptoms that you had? What are the symptoms that are being helped by coming to my wellness club, if you have any?
Yeah, the symptoms that I had was the biggest one I think was like fatigue, and then the migraines previously. I have a lot less for migraines now, almost hardly ever. But I do still get the fatigue on and off. Like, I noticed a huge improvement, like when going up the stairs and just like when walking. I've noticed even like when I try to make a muscle with my calves. Like I've noticed that I had a lot of I think it's called like deconditioning to all my muscles in my body. But I was even showing my husband this morning. I was like, look, I'm starting to get like little muscles in my legs because those exercises, especially like the sitting ones, like sitting into the squats and whatnot, like those really, I really felt those, and I felt that they were like great exercises.
Very good.
And you just I noticed that I have more stamina than before. You just began, Christine. But what happens down the line is you will have more stamina because of the deep breathing and there's postures. Apart from that, you'll also find some of the clarity in the mind and able to sleep better. All those things in general helps your resilience, right? So the underlying conditions, if you have any, they will be showing you that they are getting improved. But meanwhile, some people, they do these exercises, but they go home. I'm not saying you are going to do that, but I'm just warning. They go home and then start to smoke again, because the COVID patients who were not able to smoke at all because of their lung problems that they had, after they started to feel better with these suggestions I made, they started to smoke again. That's a no. I'm telling you, to other people, not you. The other thing is, some people start drinking again because they think they can handle it. That's also not a good idea. See, when you want a inner resilience, you want to stick to not to put as many things as possible into your body. It includes the smoking and alcohol. I'm talking a general suggestion for everybody, the people who have done that before. And also, regularity in maintaining these habits is very important. Okay, so what it is you got to nurture the body and the mind on a regular basis. One thing is, don't do anything that can harm the body and mind. That's one thing, especially when you are having underlying conditions, when you are having some old conditions that you were not able to get over, or things got worse after you got the COVID. I mean, variety of people, I see them, right? I'm talking about everybody. And then also, not only having this positive reinforcement of behaviors, but also watch out what are the things that did not help you in the past, or anything you don't want to take up new now. That's a general warning. Suppose they were eating okay, but then after the COVID, they kind of came to good nutrition, and after they feel better, they go out and eat all sorts of things. And that's also not good. So it's a long process to get the metabolic picture back to normal in COVID, where especially they have so many different organ failures and all that. So you get to monitor them medically. That's something we do. But also you got to nurture these good things for your body and mind. That's a general thing. So yeah. The other thing that I feel like that goes with like the neck pain is my left eye. It moves from left to right, like by itself. It moves back and forth.
Oh, that is. Uh, you see, it could be something new, and you developed it along with your neck pain. You need to check it out with.
No, I mean I get it periodically, like when I get a little bit of fatigue, like I get it periodically, like for the last 2 or 3 years, like with the long COVID. But another thing I wanted to share that happens is like I would get brain fog very bad when I would get very tired. And we used to have to sit in the parking lot of like a store or wherever I was. I wouldn't feel like okay to drive. So what I would do is I would sit between a half an hour and an hour in the parking lot, and I would feel like my mind would be like not focused at all.
Yeah.
And then it would look like even like the cars moved faster when I would see them.
Okay.
And sometimes I would feel like a little bit dizzy or just like off.
Have you
like do deep breathing and then wait until I felt okay or I gathered energy?
Have you talked to this with your physician at any time, Kristen?
Yeah. Well, I told my doctor that because like in the last 3 years, since I had COVID, like I had 30 accidents.
Okay.
And I think it was because of like my peripheral vision seemed to be affected. But I went to the eye doctor and they saw it like slightly off, but not like significantly off.
Yeah. Have they done anything like an MRI or brain scan?
Yes, they did 2 brain MRIs so far, like with the I forget what it's called, like the gallium fluid.
Yeah.
That's and then they also, I was having like high numbers of prolactin, so they also did an MRI of like the pituitary gland in my brain. Okay. But they didn't see anything. They did see like an area around the pituitary gland that was like kind of like shaded.
Okay, that's what I'm saying is that kind of workup is very reassuring. That means you don't have a major damage, right? Now you have got it tested as a good thing. That's what I was going to suggest to you, but you have already done. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
So these symptoms, are they worsening over the period or are they going down over the period? That is what you want to observe. Okay.
Oh, they're improving.
Yeah,
they're getting better.
That's very good. So what it is now they are improving because we're not going to do anything active medically like a surgery or medication. You want to improve your lifestyle changes that you are going through now in a much more vigorous way. Okay, so improve them slowly. You are doing good job. You are doing as much as you can do, and you are adapting them, more. And then there will be special things you will be doing to improve your brain fog and also improve your fatigue as you go along. Okay, so just keep at it, and that's a good thing. Okay.
Okay.
And then this is very typical because the long COVID do not fit into any particular damage. Like, for example, she has a damage to the optical nerve or optical arteries and all that. We can see on that MRA, which Gandolium she was talking about, is an angiogram like of the brain vessels, and we'll see them. And also MRA by itself, we can see what is happening to the nervous areas and all that, right? That is not there. That's very reassuring. And then it's a kind of reflecting functional deficit rather than anatomical deficit that we can do about it. So thinking, overthinking, and continuous thinking, mindless thinking, unconscious thinking, all these things lead to what we call brain fog, because that means we have fogged up our mind with lots of unnecessary things, So what I always talk about, being silent, being quiet, and then using conscious thought. Thought should be consciously used. If you can do that in your activities, I have the same activities as you guys have. Like I come and talk, I come and participate in discussions, I read, I kind of have to listen to the news. All those things are there, but the thing is, I let it go after that events have happened. Practice that a little bit, like why am I thinking about this when something happened yesterday, but I'm in this activity, why I'm thinking about that? That kind of simple questioning can help us to be here and now. Okay, so try to be present most of the day. Try to be present what you are doing. That will help to clear your clogged mind with all sorts of unnecessary. That's the problem for us, is it? Information overload. We want to try too many things too much of time. That's why it leads to that. This is a very typical of the COVID. One thing is, First of all, they have the difficulty. They find these deficits that were not there before they got COVID. That is real. Okay. So they are not telling you stories or they are telling you something to get your attention. It's not that. Most of the people are genuine and they are suffering. So empathize, sympathize with them and agree with them to pursue this. If you cannot pursue, improve their lifestyles at least, so that the system, our human body, mind, psychological system, can overcome these insults that you get from that, because you have COVID affecting you all over the body. There are some things that have not recovered from the damage caused by the virus response. The virus might have gone out of you, that's why the test comes negative, but the metabolic reactions that are initiated by the immune response that you had when you had COVID, that is the one that's carrying on. In long COVID, it is going on several systems that you ought to understand. So get back to our natural health systems of healing by taking nutrient, vital nutrition, and then deep breathing and sleeping well, resting, listening to the body, and also not doing over thinking, information overload. Those kind of things help you in the long run because you are trained to think all life. Suddenly you want to change, it will take some time to get back to that. So I wish people have taught high school children to have a timeout and don't talk anything for, but then these phones and devices that bring the entire world to them. So that's really causing problems, and then I anticipate much problems down the line. Basically a lot of kids into neurotics by making them get into this. So I was doing something on the digital detox and a couple of other things I put in there, like what is happening in the medical field with all this new technology, how we can see the bad effects of it, and how we can help us to it before it becomes too much. So I will have that like a video release it. I talked about digital detox, and then one of my friends who is very good with having a lot of following on the social media, and then he was telling people to use this, that, this, and all that, which is he's doing a service for them to understand. But I wanted him to understand this detox. And he said, what? I don't think anything like that is. But we see the consequence of that in patients who have used it too much, who don't know how to handle it, and who are very nervous for everything, fearful, and they cry easily, and they kind of take it out on you very easily. They're angry with you easily too. So those kind of things we see. One of them is this brain fog, lack of focus, and also headaches and insomnia, and rage at small things, reacting to everything out of proportion. All those things we are seeing with the kids. Our kids are losing the capacity to have a conversation. They are not able to focus their mind that much. And many people don't want to come to rooms like this where serious things are discussed. They want everything entertainment. They want everything according to what they know. But truth may be completely different, right? So we are having a generation of short attention span, more nervous, neurotic, more people are committing suicide. They go into depression after this for no reason. The suicide rate is going up. That's a big worry for us. So I real problems and real people having problems. And that's why as a physician, I respond like that too. Even though I don't have to, respond to everybody, I'm talking about generally, and that way we can improve our wellness at least. If you have particular disease, you come to me for that. I may treat you as a medical person. But then, in general, what are the social forces that are released that are really causing the problem is our technology. And also, technology based, everything is not problem. So you can technology, careful what it can do to you too. So don't like I told you about switching off the phone before sleep and after that you are trying to do. And also, don't expose yourself to a lot of negative news, especially if you know one time, suppose a storm is coming, you want to follow it, there's reason. But the politics, all these things going on, people kind of allow all that negativity go into their mind, which is not healthy. Especially if you have things like brain fog, or really not able to relax and go to bed and relax and feel like you have gained. See, one of the chief things I found was when I understood what is the thought, what is awareness, and how to be consciously thinking, and also how to be quiet and allow the awareness work with you. I found enormous release of energy, and because I'm thinking all the things that I don't belong to me at all. Then attitude, the work is much. Reactions are not there. You're that reactive to everything, and then have this emotional negative reactions which causes stress hormones. So there are so many benefits of trying to be calm, especially in the morning and in the evening. If you can calm yourself down, you will have a lot of benefits to your health, both physically and mentally. Anyway, that becomes like a preaching, but actually it is not. It's the fact of life that people are allowing this information overload affect them, and they don't even know what are the problems going on. And then they have symptoms out of it. They kind of emotionally react. One of the ladies, she is very popular lady, and she has a lot of followers. She told me whatever she is doing, something happens within her that makes her feel anxious, even though she has everything. And also, this voice never quiet down. It always has that voice. So that chatter, if you have it or not, only you will know, right? That kind of lack of quietness, whether you have the quietness or not, you will know. Test it and then try to understand it and try to come and resolve that. Some of the practice I'm teaching. Just be in the present, simply. For a lot of people, it is not right away. So, see, when you are reacting with so many minds outside, your mind also reacts. And what it is we don't stop it. Learn to stop it, use it properly, then you are better off in the long run. So, any other questions or any other comments, or silly, or anybody? I was operating with my Mac, that is posing some problems too. It is at the Apple shop. I think they will give tomorrow because of this holiday. We gave them last year, so it was on Friday and told us this. So I'm kind of on the all the channels because Clubhouse is on the iPhone and Wisdom is on the iPad as usual. I also able to work with my restream on my Meta. Uh, all the channels are seem to be operating, and this is something these that people in India, people in other places, that to start all these things. Uh, for the Clubhouse, they are more interested in superficial stuff. Lots of times. They are not interested in deeper thinking, deeper to be somebody, or so like a bazaar, we call it in India, where it comes in. So there are people psychology on the technology of the social media. That's the stuff, but many are of gather very silly stuff, you know. But that's their business. My business is to help people to be proactive. A part of what we are trying to do. Be proactive about your wellness. That means don't wait for the problems to come and then go for the help. Try to understand scientifically ancient practices, understand them, study them, and deal with them, learn from the experienced people, and implement them for your own benefit. Okay? So that is what I am trying to do. I'm trying to share whatever I know to in the spirit of sharing, you know, just good information so that people can benefit from that. Okay. Even the long COVID, the other day I went to this room, uh, and then I thought people will be interested. They are suffering from it, but they are doing all sorts of, but they know that they want to do, but they don't have the depth of knowledge. Somebody asked me to talk about a couple of things, but I already did my room and went there, and I don't have much time, you know. And they want me to talk about sleep and something else too. I said I have done it several times. Go and refer to those talks that are there on my library. You know, in Clubhouse also they have talks. All these talks are recorded, so they should be able to find that. You know, but it's important to understand these things at depth. You know, that way it will be easier for you to follow. Okay. Long COVID is a headache for people who are suffering, and also people are supposed to treat them. They don't have any idea what's going on, but maybe more research will be done and more findings will have. One thing for sure is people who are generally healthy and immunologically pretty strong, they're able to tread over this COVID thing better than people who are not doing the self-care, who are not being serious about their wellness. You know, that's what I'm pointing out. I'm also saying be serious about your wellness, take things more seriously, and attend to all the things that you normally do to help your health. Okay, don't eat whatever that is given to you. Don't be sedentary. Sleep well and keep your mind calm. All these are wellness measures, which is common sense, but they require their own attention. You got to learn all the new things that are happening, and then take advantage of them. Okay, for example, genome. Yeah, you got to be aware of what's going on in that microbiome. To be aware of it, you know, you got to understand what are the practices that help the neurologically stable. That's one thing with meditation, mindfulness, breathing, all these things that have they made the okay much better. So them, I kind of teach them, I kind of preach them to excuse that. All right. So for now, that's what I want to say. If you can question your friends, and then they can come, and if they want, they can follow that. You know. Alka? Okay, yeah. Okay. I'll be seeing you again tomorrow at the o'clock time. Okay. Bye bye.
Thank you.